Hi, today we're making a detailed video on how to make good Indian tea. This tea uses milk, sugar, and good quality tea leaves. Over the years, I have been asked many times how I make my tea. So I thought it's about time I made a video. This video is actually an edited and revised version of my older video. To make good Indian tea, you will need low-fat milk or skimmed milk, water, sugar, good Indian tea leaves like Brook Bond Red Label, or if you can't find that, Lipton Yellow Label tea bags will do. You will also need a saucepan, a large cup, and a tea strainer. Use your favorite brand of milk. I'm using low-fat milk. You can use fresh milk, but it's better to use low-fat or skimmed milk. And this is the tea that I used. It's called Brook Bond Red Label. Add equal proportions of water and milk to your saucepan, with just a few more extra teaspoons of water than milk. First, I'm going to show you how to make a single cup of tea. For 1 cup of tea, you will need a half cup measure, like this, of milk. And another half cup measure of water plus 1 to 2 teaspoons of extra water. Half a cup is approximately 100 ml, and remember you will need 1 or 2 teaspoons extra water than milk. This is a good ratio for a really good cup of Indian tea. If you want a more milky taste, add more milk or add less water. We're making 1 serving cup, so for my 1 cup of tea I'm adding 2 level teaspoons of sugar. I then place a tea strainer over my cup. If you need to make more cups of tea, like for 3 to 4 people, use a larger cup, like this, and you will also need a larger tea strainer. Now we're waiting for this milk to boil. When you see the bubbles all around the sides of the saucepan, and a thin layer of cream that's developed on the surface of the milk, it's time to add our tea leaves. This is what our tea leaves look like. They are larger grained and not that fine dust variety. So our milk is just coming to a boil, and we add the tea leaves to the center of the saucepan to break that thin film of cream on the surface. Cover the saucepan and wait just a few seconds and then uncover so that the milk does not boil over, and give it a good stir. For every cup of tea, I'm using 1 tablespoon of tea leaves plus an extra tablespoon. So for 1 cup of tea, that's 2 tablespoons. For 2 cups of tea, that's 3 tablespoons. You get the picture. Please remember that this amount is for these larger grain variety of tea leaves and not for the fine dust. If you're using the fine dust variety, a teaspoon or 2 should do. But I like the larger grain tea, and I believe that it gives you a better quality tea. Pour the tea into the cup from as high as possible through a tea strainer. Then we perform what is known as pulling the tea. Pour the tea into the saucepan and then back into the cup. Repeat this a couple of times and pull the tea as high as possible. This step should not be omitted. It tremendously increases the flavor of your tea. Tea should be nice and bubbly and served hot. Next, we'll make the same cup of tea using the more easily available Lipton Yellow Label tea bags. We repeat the same procedure as before to make our tea for this 1 cup. So it's 2 level teaspoons of sugar for 1 cup. 1 cup, which is about 200 ml, and this 1 cup consists of half a cup of milk and half a cup of water plus 2 teaspoons of extra water. We add the extra teaspoons of water so that the tea does not have a milky aftertaste. So here's the milk, it's half a cup. And here's the water, a half a cup, plus the extra 2 teaspoons of water. You can add 2 to 3 teaspoons of extra water depending on your taste. This is the consistency that we're looking for a really good cup of Indian tea. And if you want a milkier or heavier tea, you can use full-fat cream instead of the skim milk or low-fat milk. Cut out the tea bags to get the tea grains. You will need 4 tea bags for 1 cup of tea. Yes, it sounds like a lot, but you will need those 4 tea bags to make a great tasting cup of Indian tea. When making tea with leaves from the tea bag, I don't cover the saucepan. I just stir quickly till I achieve the color that I desire. Personally, we like a stronger cup of tea. The higher you strain your tea from, the more bubbling action you will get. Don't forget to pull your tea by pouring it from the cup to the saucepan and back again a couple of times to get a nice bubbly tea. This step must not be omitted. Now I show you how to make tea for 4 people. That's 4 cups of tea. And I'm using the Brook Bond Red Label larger grain tea leaves. You will need a larger cup and a larger tea strainer. So for 4 cups of tea, we will need 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of water, plus 4 to 5 extra teaspoons of water. Remember that the measurement for a single cup of tea is about 200 ml. That's milk and water combined. So for 4 cups of tea, you would need 400 ml of milk and 400 ml of water, plus 4 to 5 extra teaspoons of water. To take a look at the list of ingredients and measurements, please follow the link in the description. And 4 cups of tea would require 8 level teaspoons of sugar. You could add it straight to the saucepan with the milk, but I prefer to add it directly into the cup. Wait for about a minute to see the milk bubbling all around the sides of the saucepan. And you see a thin layer of cream that's developed on the surface of the milk. At this point, we can add our tea leaves. Remember that it's a tablespoon of larger grained tea leaves for each cup of tea. So for 4 cups of tea, we're using 5 tablespoons of tea leaves. Cover the saucepan just briefly, allowing the milk to bubble up without boiling over. Uncover and give it a good stir. Quickly strain into our large cup from as high as possible. and pull the tea just like before a couple of times. Pour your tea into teacups or into a teapot and serve hot. Remember that the tea will cool down quite quickly. We hope you enjoyed this simple but detailed video on how to make good Indian tea. For details on the recipe and many more recipes, please visit recipesaresimple.com. We hope you enjoy watching our videos as much as we like making them for you. Please leave a comment. We love hearing from you.